Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to go over Alpha Dom. This guy. He is one of those people on the internet. You're like, you make the internet worse. You're making the internet so much worse than it needs to be, and it's already really bad. So let's go over this.
You do not have to accept her rejection. I'm a professional dating coach and I teach guys how to understand the female mind. Now, if you're one of the people that haven't applied anything in my course or my videos or anything like that, this video is not for you. This is an advanced technique. This is for the people that have the course, have my videos, fucking are applying.
Okay. Like, I cannot take this guy seriously. I cannot. And I hope there's no guys out there taking him seriously. He is full of a bunch of bullshit. You will not get a girl like this. And if you do, you're going to get a broken one. And not that that's, sometimes we get broken. Sometimes men get broken too. So, I mean, we're people. We're all people. We all break at some point, right? But I mean, what? A girl's rejection isn't really rejection? Yeah, it is. It fucking is. And also, this is an advanced technique. Don't buy any of his shit. Please, I hope there's no one actually buying his course and giving this clown money, because he's a clown. He's an absolute clown. It just gives me, what is it called? Incel vibes. Like some serious incel vibes.
Seeing results, and eventually I'm going to put this in the course. I just don't have the time right now, so I'm releasing it now. You don't have to accept her rejection. Now, here's an example. I was talking to a girl and she said, oh, I'm not really interested. And I, instead of just going, okay, and then just turning away, I did this. Why would you not be interested in me? I'm the best. Absolutely the best. And she's like, oh, how? I'm like, well, you'd have to come over to my house to find out. And you'd also have to be okay with kink, and you'd also have to be okay with my mastery of the ropes and the fact I have multiple women. And actually, maybe not. Maybe you wouldn't be the best for me. And now I did turn it around at the end, but I could have left that part out and still got her to start bantering back and forth, and she did. She started going back and forth with me, and I started building attraction in that because now I had sidestepped her fucking rejection. Granted, keep in mind, I didn't force it. I didn't say, no, you're gonna. I just played into her little fucking game. I knew she was playing with me a little bit, or just kind of disengaging, and I gave her a little bit of fun. You want to know what I did with her later?
No. I don't want to know what you did with her. I don't give a shit because I don't care. I honestly don't care. But men out there listening to this guy, if a woman says no, it just means no. Like, I've been approached by men and asked out on a date even a few years ago. I'm happily married. I've been married for 12 years. And I have no desire at all to date anybody else, to go out with anybody else. One guy is enough. I'm happy with that. And it's like, yeah. Is it flattering to be head on? Absolutely. I consider it flattering. Even if it's creepy, I still consider it a little flattering. But the thing is, I'm like, nah, dude, I'm good. Thanks. I'm happily married. I'm good. I mean, and I even had a guy go, oh, I don't care if you're married. Well, I do. I care that I'm married. It's my marriage, and I would like to keep it intact. Thanks. And it's like, I have to defend my marriage at that point. It's like weird. And it's weird that I got pressed. Like, that's what the conversation ends. If she says, no, I'm not interested, that's where that ends, and you go find somebody different. Now, there's a very fine line between being persistent and being a stalker. I mean, I'm not saying this guy's a stalker, but there is a fine line. You hear these stories of men that were really persistent, and they're like, hey, I would like to take you on a date. She's like, no. I want to take you on a date. No. And he just keeps asking. Now, there are some women that find a problem with that. I have seen where it did kind of work out, but I think that's the rare exception. Most of the time, that's obnoxious, and we don't want it. So as a good basic rule, if she says no, that's her answer for any of it. Wait, there's more.
When talking about other women, when you've just met a new girl. I'm a professional dating coach and I teach guys how to understand the female mind. Now, a lot of dating coaches get this wrong. They say, don't talk about your exes, don't talk about other girls, just keep it out of the conversation. This is incorrect. Reason being is, one, they're correct in the fact that you do not want to just constantly be talking about your exes. But there's this thing called social proof. And it's always easier to get one girl after you've have some type of social proof. For example, I have multiple girls. It's very easy for me to get another one. I could fucking just keep adding until I had hundreds if I wanted to. There's really no limit to it. But you can use.
My guy, are you running a cult? I mean, is that what you're doing? Because that's what it sounds like. That you're roping women in and you're like, I'm controlling you. Because that's very much what that is. I don't think he has lots of women. I don't think he has social proof. I don't even believe in that concept of, like, in terms of dating. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if a guy has had 1,000 girlfriends or 0. It really doesn't matter. All that matters, and I know we're just talking about heterosexual relationships at this point, or at least, in this aspect. But that's what he's talking about, and that's why I'm keeping it there. I recognize there's all kinds of different types of relationships. But since he's talking about just heterosexual, that's what I'm going to do. Yeah. Like this guy's like an incel. This guy, and I'm pretty sure he's a Trump supporter. And like, I scoured the internet till like 2:00 in the morning, trying to figure out if this guy's account was just satire, and I couldn't find anything that said that. Like, I couldn't figure that out. Maybe I just didn't find the right resources. That might be true. But honestly, this guy, I feel like he's like so over the top misogynistic that it can't be real, but but I think it is. You see misogyny all the time, but it's usually pretty subtle, like it's baked into the system, that kind of thing, and you're like, okay, yeah, I get it. You can't really see it, but it's always there, right? No, this guy's saying the quiet parts out loud. Like, he's just being overtly misogynistic, overtly like, oh, I am going to play a mind game with you and get you to like me, even though you don't. Like, I feel like he's trying to teach guys to do this Jedi mind trick that's probably not going to work most of the time. Because honestly, I've had guys try to be very persistent with me. They didn't win because eventually I found it creepy and just a little gross. And I'm like, nah, I'm good. Thank you.
Use things like talking about your exes or sexual experiences with girls or interactions or trips or something like that with women. That shows that women are interested and attracted to you, because no other gender, women are super attuned to social proof and look to it.
I don't understand where he's getting this information, because sure the fuck isn't getting this from observation. He isn't getting this from actually tapping into real women's minds. Like, maybe some women work that way, but we all don't work the same way. Like, nothing for men works all the same way. Not all men are misogynistic. Not all men are predators. Not all men are assholes. And not all men are any of it. But not all women are any of it either. Like, we're all different individuals. So we all work basically different from each other. Like, some things work basically the same, right? Like, treat the person you're with respect. Believe them, unless they give you a reason not to. And then you need to do something about it. But if shit doesn't make sense, question it. And I think a lot of people don't, because we're all tired. Shit is overwhelming these days, and we're all tired of everything. And so I think we check out sometimes. And I think we're checking out more than we used to, not as women, I think as people.
Most of the things I teach, Don't not talk about women ever, because then she's going to think you're a weirdo that can't get a girl. And, oh my God, you're the first girl I've gotten. That's what you're going to be screaming to her. But also don't fucking just talk about all your exes constantly nonstop and drive her nuts to the point where she's like, is he still hung up on his ex?
I also want to say, if you didn't have a strong dating life growing up as a guy, yeah, that's okay. It actually is okay. Like, I don't look down on a man for not having a partner before me. I never have. And that's happened more than once now. And it's like, it's the same logic, but reverse applied for men. You know how men like this are always like, you know what? Get them while they're young. Get them young so you can mold them into what you want them to be. Not to what they want to be, to what you want them to be. And like, that's what they want. They want a virgin so they can do whatever they want, right? And they can be the first for everything. But then on the flip side, they're like, women don't want to be your first. Well, somebody has to. Somebody has to. Everyone is someone's first for something, right? Well, not everyone, but you know what? There's a first for everyone. So it doesn't matter where your first came from. You know, maybe you were shy. Maybe you weren't outgoing. Maybe you were sheltered. Maybe you had an extremely religious family, which that seems to be a big problem in America. Not just in America, but it is a problem here a little bit. And it's like, it's okay. Be honest. Hey, I don't have a lot of experience with this, you know? And it's like, you can talk maybe about things that you've been on dates with girls, or you've never been on a date with girls, and it's been really hard for you to like talk to them. Honestly, most women, I think, I can't say most women, but I know some women would find that endearing. You know what I mean? Like, just be yourself. Be honest. Don't be this like caricature of yourself. Like this guy has invented himself into this caricature. He wasn't born this way. He wasn't like, this is not the guy he just was destined to be. This was the persona he chose to be. This is a choice. What he's doing is a fucking choice.
I just want to let everybody know, I've looked at almost everything. I don't watch them, but I look at who is making the post, the stitch. Out of all the women that have made stitches hating on me, exactly 0 of them match the caliber of the women I date. It's weird, because if they watched the video where I was talking about how 8s and 9s are the ones that do the rejection test, they would have. Oh wait, never mind, they're not 8s or 9s.
He's saying that none of the women that are hating on me I would ever date, because they're just not my caliber of woman. And it's like, any guy who just says that is not a good guy. I mean, first off, big red flag for alpha. You know, calling himself alpha dom, like alpha dominatrix. Of course, we've watched a lot of like The Godfather recently. We watched all 3 movies, and my brain instantly went to like Dom, as in the mob boss Dom. And so I thought he was like alpha Dom, like he thinks he's like this badass mob. No, he doesn't. But that's the persona I originally thought when I heard his name. But then afterwards, I'm like, no, it's to do with dominatrix, but there's no such thing as an alpha male. Like, there's no alpha. Like, it's not a real thing. Like, that's been debunked a lot. So when people say alpha, I'm an alpha.
No, I'm an alpha. I gotta look at the door. If you ever date a man that says he's an alpha, he's a beta. So, a lion doesn't tell you he's a lion. He just lets the girl hunt for him. Okay, so.
And if we were to accept that alphas were real, he wouldn't be it. That's not a good example of what an alpha male would be. He would be, I don't know, gamma. He'd be way down that list. Let me know in the comments down below what you think about this guy. I just think he's a train wreck, and I just He's the kind of person that makes the internet worse. He just does. In my opinion. Like, all this is my opinion, by the way. Anyway, if you're new, subscribe. Please like this video. It helps me with the algorithm. And I appreciate you watching. Thank you so much.